It begins in a mysterious world established thousands of kilometers above the sky, where reaching means inviting death. Nevertheless, some soldiers reach there by risking their lives, but in the next moment, they face the most dangerous and giant monster of that world. Jack feels the sound of his footsteps and immediately hides by dipping his head in the water. Just then, a huge foot appears in front of him, seeing which the sheep standing nearby start running away in fear. Then the demon catches a sheep and swallows it raw. Seeing this horrific scene, Jack gets very scared. On the other hand, a soldier hiding behind a tree tries to look back at the demon, but the demon recognizes his scent by wrinkling its nose. In fear, the soldier hides behind the tree again, but the demon keeps moving towards him with big steps. The soldier, standing with bated breath, can no longer hold himself and suddenly starts running. But by then it is too late. He has caught the demon's eye. Without wasting any time, the demon uproots the entire tree with its roots. The soldier keeps running to save his life, but his small legs cannot last before the long legs of that demon. The demon moves forward with fast steps and knocks him unconscious with a single blow. Seeing a human for the first time, it leans down in front of him to look closely. Just as it was about to pick him up, the captain comes running towards it with a sword and thrusts the sword through the demon's ankle with all his strength. Restless with pain, the demon looks back and in the next moment, throws the captain away with a light kick. Then it pulls out the sword stuck in its leg and picks up the two soldiers to take them for food. Jack was watching all this from a distance. At that moment he realizes how big a mistake he has made by coming here. Actually, some time ago, Jack had received some magical seeds with the help of a monk. But as soon as his lover the princess comes to meet Jack, one of those seeds starts growing rapidly upon touching water. As a result, the whole wooden house suddenly starts shaking loudly and all kinds of strange and terrible noises start coming from below. Both of them cannot move in fear and suddenly the ground bursts open and a huge vine starts growing towards the sky, tearing through the house. Seeing this, the princess immediately tries to escape, but just then a table falls on her. Jack moves forward to save her, but the vines throw him out of the house. At that moment, a wooden door suddenly opens and the princess sees a path. But as she tries to escape outside, the vine suddenly closes the door. The princess tries to open the door, but the door does not move at all. Seeing this, Jack picks up an axe to cut the vines. But then suddenly the whole house starts growing towards the sky, uprooted with its roots. At the very last moment, Jack jumps and catches the edge, but the vines were growing so fast that within a few seconds, the house reaches thousands of meters high. Jack tries to cut the vine by wielding the axe with all his strength. As soon as the vine breaks, the princess immediately opens the door. But in the next moment, the wood under her feet breaks, and despite holding her hand, she starts falling down from a height of 10,000 meters. Jack slips from the magical vine towards the ground, but on the way, the vines slow him down a bit and eventually he falls to the ground and becomes unconscious. But the princess was not that lucky because the vine takes her to the other side of the sky with it. The next morning, Jack wakes up in fear and sees the king standing in front, who was looking for the princess. Seeing this, Jack is about to lose consciousness and is forced to tell everything to the king. When Jack points towards the sky, everyone sees a huge vine rising straight up through the sky. As soon as the king learns the truth, he sends a group of soldiers with Jack to save the princess without wasting a moment. Soon everyone reaches beyond the clouds by climbing up with the help of that vine. Then the captain moves forward and starts sliding from one side to the other because that was the only way to reach the princess. Forced, Jack prepares himself by opening his belt. But as he was thinking of moving forward, the curly-haired man standing next to him pushes him forward with a loud kick. Seeing such height, Jack's condition worsens, and while sliding halfway, his hand suddenly slips and he falls straight down. But fortunately, the vines catch him in the middle. Regaining consciousness, he starts climbing up again without stopping. Reaching the height, the weather changes completely. Heavy storms and lightning were flashing all around. Then suddenly a bolt of lightning falls directly on a soldier, causing him to slip, and the rest of the soldiers fall down after colliding with him. But at the last moment, one soldier catches the rope tightly, due to which the lives of the others are somehow saved. But the soldiers who had fallen down were now hanging in the air. If they are not pulled up soon, the whole team could be in danger. Then Roderick tells his companion standing nearby to cut the rope. The man likes the idea and pulls out a hidden knife from his leg. The soldiers hanging below keep praying not to do so, but he shows no mercy and cuts the rope, and the hanging soldiers fall down from a height of 10,000 feet. Somehow the remaining soldiers reach the top, and by then it is morning. As soon as Jack looks back, he is completely surprised because there was a huge world above the clouds. Seeing this scene, everyone starts moving towards that side. Then the captain's eye falls on fresh footprints on the ground, seeing which he guesses that the princess did not go down but is somewhere here. When everyone comes out of the cave, the captain is stunned by the scene in front because this world was much bigger than expected. Everyone moves forward inspecting the area and their eyes fall on tree branches. They find signs left by the princess there. At that time, Jack finds the book on the ground which he had given to the princess. Then broken branches catch their eye, and by this they guess that some dangerous creature has picked up the princess. After this, everyone divides into two groups and starts looking for the princess in different directions. On the way, Jack and his companions reach a river where they see a flock of healthy sheep. Being hungry for many days, they think of cooking a sheep, but as they try to catch a sheep, a trap kept nearby gets activated by mistake. Jack quickly pulls out his knife and starts cutting the net with all his strength. On the other hand, the captain was also trying to cut the rope, but then his eye falls on something strange. All the crows nearby suddenly fly away in fear, and all the sheep also run away together in the other direction. The captain has some suspicion, but he still keeps cutting the rope and somehow they both come out of the net. But then a terrible sound floats from the forest, and at that moment, a huge monster comes in front of them and takes two soldiers with it. Jack quietly follows the monster so that he can save the companions along with the princess when the right opportunity arises. On the other hand, Roderick reaches the edge of a mountain with two soldiers. The bald man feels that searching like this is useless and he starts moving forward to find another way. But then Roderick plays his move. Hey look, there is Isabel. As soon as the bald man turns back and comes to the edge of the mountain, Roderick takes the opportunity and pushes him directly into the deep abyss. Seeing this, Roderick's friend starts laughing loudly. Suddenly, a huge hand catches him. At that very moment, a mountain-like big monster comes in front of him. Roderick falls to the ground in fear and quickly starts looking for something in his bag. But as the monster reaches out to catch him, at that moment Roderick pulls out a bright crown. Seeing the crown, the monster stops right there, as if some invisible power has stopped it. Actually, it was a magical crown. Whoever has this powerful crown in hand, the demons will be forced to obey his every word. On the other hand, Jack reaches their hideout while following the monster, and he is surprised to see the scene there because there were beautiful waterfalls and high mountains all around which looked no less than heaven. There, the two-headed monster had kept the princess imprisoned in a cage. Then it takes her to the rest of the monsters where all the monsters were gathered and looking at her. Then the monster also returns who had caught the captain and that fat soldier. It brings them both and throws them next to the cage. Seeing this, the two-headed monster suspects that perhaps more humans are here, so it catches a fat soldier lying on the ground and swallows him alive by wringing his neck. After this, the monster spits out his armor, but as the monster was threatening the captain that it would eat the princess too, an object from the side catches everyone's eye. Actually, that sound was not of anyone else but of that traitor Roderick. Seeing the crown on his head, all the other monsters immediately sit on their knees, and at that moment his real plan comes in front of everyone. He goes directly in front of the two-headed monster and orders it to sit on its knees. Seeing the crown on his head, the two-headed monster is forced to bow its head, and then Roderick steps on its face and slowly walks towards the throne. From that moment, Roderick becomes the new king of the monster world. He announces to win the whole world by attacking humans. Hearing his words, the monster army is very happy, but something else was going on in the head of the two-headed monster. On the other hand, the monster picks up the captain for cooking and throws him directly on the sticky dough. The more he struggled, the more he was getting stuck in it. Then the monster comes forward and sprinkles a handful of flour on the captain. After this, the monster does a very nasty thing and folds the captain and keeps him on one side. After preparation, only adding vegetables was left. As it goes to get vegetables, at that time Jack comes there secretly. Seeing Jack, the princess becomes very happy, but he immediately tells her to remain silent by gesture. On the other hand, the monster was still busy, and in the meantime, Jack slowly reaches the princess. He tries to open the lock of the cage, but it was beyond his power. Then the princess tells him first to save the captain whom the monster had kept in line with the pigs. Jack quickly reaches him and pulls out a knife and starts separating him from that sticky dough. At that time, the monster starts returning with spices. Seeing this, Jack quickly hands the knife to the captain and hides himself. Fortunately, the monster has no suspicion. It picks up some sharp wood and thrusts it into the pig lying in front of the captain's eyes. The pig that was screaming till then immediately becomes quiet. Now, it was the captain's turn. The monster strikes, showing no mercy, but its aim is somewhat missed. Otherwise, the name and sign of the captain's lineage would have been erased. Seeing this, the captain faints in fear. Then the monster picks them all up and keeps them on the nearby burning stove. Now the only hope to save them was Jack. By this time, Jack had reached above the iron ring, and the monster did not even have the slightest idea about him. Then the monster picks up a sharp knife and moves directly towards the princess. Without delay, it puts its hand inside and brings the princess out, and starts preparing to cut her by keeping her on the table. But then Jack quietly picks up a heavy knife kept nearby. The unaware monster is about to strike the princess when just then Jack stabs the knife directly into its spine. The monster screams loudly in pain, but Jack holds the knife tightly. Then the monster loses control and hits the wall and dies. Seeing this, both the princess and the captain are surprised. After this, the three of them quickly reach that magical vine, but a monster was already guarding there whom Roderick had sent. Then a strange idea comes to Jack's head. He slowly reaches that monster with the captain with a beehive. Then the captain lifts the monster's helmet, and Jack puts the hive inside it. The monster was still sleeping soundly and had no idea what was going to happen to him. As soon as Jack keeps the hive inside, the captain immediately closes the helmet. Then both quickly run away from there and hide behind the nearby stone and wait. Within a short time, the monster gets up struggling in pain from the bee stings and starts shaking his body. But the more he struggled, the more the bees were attacking him. In fear, the monster starts running from there but slips and hits a stone, and he goes rolling to the edge of the mountain. It seemed as if he would fall now. Then suddenly, he takes off his helmet. Seeing this, the three of them stop for a moment, but then a bee flies directly towards him, and in the next moment, it stings the monster hard, due to which he loses control and falls straight down. Seeing this, the three of them are overwhelmed with joy. They could not believe that they had defeated such a big monster so easily. After this, the three of them decide to leave from there. But suddenly the captain stops. He states that he has to stay here to snatch the crown from Roderick. So Jack starts descending with the princess by giving him the knife. At that time, the monster falls down at last after colliding with the vine. Hearing the loud sound, the king immediately comes out of his tent and gets scared seeing this dangerous monster. Suddenly the people of the village also gather there. Then the king, despite not wanting to, takes a big decision for the welfare of the subjects, and to stop the monsters from coming here. He immediately orders the general to cut the vine. The soldiers fix huge iron nails in that big vine, then attach strong hooks to them and start pulling them with the help of some bulls and horses. Slowly that huge vine starts moving with its roots, but by this the soldiers standing nearby suddenly fall into danger. Then suddenly, the middle thick vine also starts to tear. The soldiers standing above start falling down, due to which chaos is created all around. On the other hand, Jack and the princess were descending with the help of the vine, but as soon as they look down, they get scared, because the vine had become uncontrolled and could tear at any moment. At that time, Jack takes the opportunity and holds the princess tightly and quickly grabs a hanging branch. Both swinging in the air start descending rapidly downwards. Finally, when they fall down, the pile of grass slows them down, and in this way both reach the ground safely. At that very moment, Roderick gathers all the monsters to prepare to attack humans. Then, the two-headed monster gets a hint of humans, due to which the captain hides. Then Roderick moves forward and takes out the magical seeds to grow the vine, but then suddenly the captain jumps on him, due to which the magical seeds remain on the stone, and Roderick falls directly into the pit below. Roderick starts calling the monsters in fear while the captain stands ready to fight in front of him. Then the two-headed monster orders the rest of the monsters to bring him out. The monsters start breaking stones, and a fight starts between the captain and Roderick below. Roderick drops the captain with the help of his long sword, and his weapon falls far away. After this, he keeps attacking, taking the opportunity, but the captain somehow blocks his blow, and a struggle of strength starts between the two. Soon the captain starts becoming weak, and Roderick drowns him in water. Just then suddenly his eye falls on that knife which was floating towards him. The captain catches it with his teeth at the right time and immediately hits Roderick's face. Roderick's anger bursts at the sudden attack. He pushes the captain back with the power of his weapon. The captain is forced to back away and finally reaches the edge. Then Roderick throws him down with a loud kick, but the captain somehow catches the stones. Roderick tries to thrust the sword into his hand so that he himself falls down. But he had underestimated the captain's strength. As soon as he goes to attack again, the captain catches his weapon and thrusts it into his leg. Roderick screams loudly in pain, and taking advantage of this opportunity, the captain thrusts the sword into Roderick's stomach. Due to the sudden attack, Roderick dies right there. With his death, the magical power of the crown also ends. The captain somehow comes up and moves forward to take back the crown, but then the cave above breaks, and the two-headed monster picks up the crown before that. It wears the crown on its finger, and declares itself the new king. Upon wearing the crown, its power returns again. Seeing this, the other monsters also sit on their knees. Then the captain sees that the only vine to return to Earth can now break and fall down at any time. So he jumps directly onto the vine without delay. The vine starts moving rapidly towards the fort. The captain takes the opportunity of the right time and jumps directly into the water. When the two-headed monster sees that the path for humans to go to Earth is broken, it roars in anger. Then suddenly the small head points towards that bag which was full of magical seeds. The two-headed monster picks it up and opens it in its hand and sees there were a total of 4 magical seeds in it. Seeing this, it is overwhelmed with joy. It immediately throws those seeds into the water by blowing. As soon as the seeds hit the water, they start growing rapidly, and in the next moment 4 huge vines come out, tearing the ground. After this, the two-headed monster gives a loud order, and all the monsters move towards the human world by climbing those vines. At the last moment, the two-headed monster also jumps down. It starts sliding towards the ground with the help of the vine. At that time, Jack was watering the horse when suddenly his gaze goes towards the sky. He sees all the monsters are coming down rapidly. Without wasting a moment, he rides the horse and sets out to warn the king. On the other hand, the king's army was moving towards the fort unconcerned, when suddenly Jack catches sight of the army. He starts shouting loudly that the monster is coming. But nothing was clear to the king yet. Then suddenly many monsters come out from the forest behind, and wherever they were going, they were destroying everything there. No one could stop them. Soon the monster army comes close, and they catch a soldier and swallow him alive. People riding horses also cannot escape from their speed. At this time, humans were absolutely helpless before them. Then a round-faced monster breaks the wing of the nearby windmill and throws it towards the princess, which shatters everything as it falls on the ground, and the king's crown also falls. On the other hand, the soldiers deployed in the fort see the king's army coming, and they immediately send news of war preparation inside. The captain quickly pours oil in the ditch with the help of all the soldiers so that the enemies can be stopped. As soon as the king's army reaches the fort, he orders to fire arrows, and in no time hundreds of burning arrows are released towards the enemies. As soon as these arrows come in contact with the oil, fire breaks out all around, and in the meantime, the king's army reaches inside the protected fort. Seeing the princess safe, the captain immediately orders to close the fort gate. But at that time, Jack was still outside and the monsters were chasing him. As soon as the fort gate starts closing, Jack gets panicked. But at the last moment, he enters inside by jumping with his horse, although the two-headed monster also climbs the door following him. Just then the captain attacks him and he falls directly into the leaping flames of fire. Soon the fire completely surrounds him, but the surprising thing was that even his own people do not come to save him but just stand and watch him burn. On the other hand, when humans were talking among themselves, suddenly a large iron bell comes rapidly towards the fort from the sky. It breaks the wall and falls straight down. Before anyone could understand anything, suddenly the trumpet of war sounds. Then 2 large iron hooks are thrown towards the fort gate, which the monsters start pulling tightly. Then a tug of war starts between humans and monsters. Actually, it was the plan of the round-faced monster, who calls more monsters and orders to break the fort gate. The environment inside turns into complete chaos. The princess flees inside the fort with Jack. On the other hand, the old king orders all the soldiers to use crossbows to stop the monsters. Soon more monsters arrive and they start pulling with full force. Then, at the captain's order, the soldiers release many crossbows which hit the wooden door directly. As soon as the target is hit, the soldiers quickly pull the crossbow vehicles back. The fort force is divided into small groups, and the king also comes for help. He was asking the captain about the weakness of the monsters. Just then, a burning tree falls from the sky which spreads the soldiers apart. In the next moment, many burning trees start falling on the soldiers, due to which their hold starts to loosen. It seemed as if the door would break soon. Then the princess reaches inside the fort with Jack, but suddenly a heavy roar and the ground cracking catches their eye. In fear, they both back away and some stones fly upwards. 2 huge hands come out suddenly from below. It was that two-headed monster that had survived despite falling in the fire earlier, because the fire could not do anything to it due to being underwater, and it entered up to the inside of the fort quietly through the sewage path. Suddenly, it feels the royal scent of the princess. Jack fearfully opens the blanket and sees that the monster has not seen them yet. But then, in anger, the monster breaks the mirror kept nearby. both hiding under the blanket in terror start shivering, but the monster sees them directly from above. Jack immediately flees holding the princess with full strength, but the monster continuously keeps chasing them. Having no way, both are forced to flee towards the second floor. They were not even daring to stop their steps, but suddenly a hand comes out from the side and catches the princess. Jack picks up the axe kept nearby and without delay attacks directly on it. But the monster catches him with the other hand. The small head starts making fun of Jack. Just then Jack directly hits the axe and breaks its helmet in rage. In anger, the monster opens its large mouth. Just then Jack pulls out the magical seed hidden in the locket and throws it directly into its mouth. The magical seed goes directly into its stomach, due to which the two-headed monster suddenly feels some discomfort, and it immediately slams both of them on the ground. Then suddenly a vine comes out from its body and they both back away in fear. Suddenly many vines come out tearing through its body at full speed, due to which the hall is completely destroyed. Suddenly the hand wearing the king's crown also falls near Jack. On the other hand, the soldiers outside were still trying to stop the monsters, but at one sound of the round-faced monster, all the monsters slowly back away and start dropping the soldiers one by one. The fort gate slowly opens. The captain quickly tells the soldiers to close the iron door. At that very moment, the round-faced monster slowly comes out of the fog with its companions, but the iron door cannot stop him for long, and he breaks the door in one blow. Then that monster enters the fort with its companions. They are very happy to see the delicious soldiers standing there. The monsters are about to attack. Just then suddenly a sound comes from behind, and the eyes of all the monsters go towards that sound. The monster looks carefully in the crowd, and suddenly he leaves his weapon. Seeing this, the rest of the monsters also leave their weapons and sit on their knees in front of all humans. The captain is surprised to see this scene.